You know, we're creatures built for survival. It's in our DNA. Our deepest, most primal instincts are all designed to do one thing: avoid pain, find safety, and live to see another day. And yet, there's this paradox, isn't there? We seem to have this strange fascination, this deep-seated craving for the very thing we should be running from: danger.
And this isn't just some philosophical question, it's a billion-dollar one. I mean, really think about it. Why do we spend our hard-earned money and our precious free time on activities that are intentionally designed to hijack our survival instincts and scare us half to death? It's a question that gets at the heart of who we are.
I mean, we'll stand in line for hours just to strap into a metal cart and experience that stomach-dropping feeling that screams, "We're falling."
Or we'll sit in a pitch-black theater paying to have simulated monsters and killers jump out at us, all for this thrill of the scare. Some people take it even further, right? Jumping out of perfectly good airplanes, racing down mountainsides. They're pushing the absolute limits of what the human body can survive.
And it's not just physical thrills. Even in the comfort of our own homes, we're obsessed with true crime, consuming stories about real-world threats as a form of entertainment. So what's going on here? Well, the answer to this strange craving isn't new. It starts deep inside our brain's ancient, hardwired programming.
So to really get why we're drawn to danger, first we have to understand how our brain even processes it. And this isn't a conscious choice, by the way. This is a split-second, automatic, biological reaction. Okay, so meet the amygdala. You can think of it as your brain's super-sensitive smoke detector. It's tiny, but it's always on, constantly scanning everything you see, hear, and feel for any hint of trouble. And when it spots a potential threat, it pulls the alarm immediately. No hesitation. And the second that amygdala alarm goes off, your body gets flooded with adrenaline. This is what we call the rush. Your heart starts pounding, your pupils dilate, your senses become razor sharp. Your body is instantly primed for peak performance, ready to either fight for your life or run from it. But here's where it gets really interesting. That adrenaline rush isn't just about survival. It's biologically tangled up with dopamine, which is the brain's main pleasure and reward chemical. So this means the very system that evolved to save us from danger is also wired to make that danger feel intensely good. It's a lightning-fast chain reaction. Your brain perceives a threat, your amygdala fires, and then you get this chemical cocktail of adrenaline and dopamine. Your body goes on high alert, but at the exact same time, your brain is tagging the experience with a hit of pleasure. Okay, so that leads to a really important question. If the fear response is linked to a chemical reward, why isn't every single terrifying moment enjoyable? Why is a real car chase pure terror, but a roller coaster is a thrill? Well, the difference lies in a little cognitive trick, a kind of safety switch in our brain. And this brings us to this fascinating psychological theory called benign masochism. It sounds intense, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It suggests that we get pleasure from situations where our body is freaking out and screaming danger, but our conscious mind knows for a fact that we're actually safe. We basically enjoy the feeling of our body being fooled. So look at it this way. This is the critical difference. Whether it's a real threat or a benign one, like a horror movie, your body's initial reaction is exactly the same: danger. But in that benign situation, your conscious, rational brain steps in and says, "Hang on, this isn't real, we're safe." That rational assessment is the switch that flips terror into a thrill. And the psychologist who came up with this idea, Paul Rozin, he put it perfectly. The pleasure comes from that feeling of mind over body. We get to enjoy the incredible rush of our primal fear response, but we do it from inside what you could call a protective frame. We get all the chemical highs without any of the actual risk. So we understand how it works now. But that just leads to an even deeper question, doesn't it? Why? Why did evolution build this system into us in the first place? Why would a species ever evolve to find pleasure in pushing the limits of its own safety? Well, as the psychologist Steven Pinker points out, this pleasure of pushing the envelope actually has a huge adaptive advantage. Think about it. Our ancestors who were willing to carefully probe the edges of the unknown were the ones who found new resources, new hunting grounds, and ultimately had a better shot at survival.
For our ancestors, especially for young males, taking calculated risks was a direct line to evolutionary success. It was how you showed dominance, how you got more resources, and how you signaled your genetic fitness to potential mates. Taking a big risk and surviving was basically the best advertisement you could have.
And this evolutionary logic also helps explain our modern obsession with scary stories. There's a concept called threat simulation theory, which argues that our love of horror isn't just for kicks, it's actually a form of training.
Here's the best way to think about it. A horror movie is basically a flight simulator for your brain. It lets you experience and practice managing intense fear and anxiety, but from a completely safe distance. It lets you build up your coping skills and emotional resilience without any real-world consequences. It's practice.
And that brings us to today. We're walking around with this ancient brain, a brain that's been programmed for risk and threat simulation, but we're living in a world that is physically safer than ever. It's also a world of constant digital connection. So what happens when our primal instincts meet the modern internet?
Well, in the digital world, our ancient threat detection system is getting pinged constantly, often in ways it never evolved to handle. Emotional contagion spreads fear and outrage across social media in seconds. The 24/7 news cycle creates this narrative of constant crisis, which keeps our amygdala on high alert. We even seek out risk vicariously by watching streamers or online drama unfold. And that ancient part of our brain that wants to find patterns can lead us to see hidden monsters in conspiracy theories, all in an attempt to make sense of a world that feels chaotic.
So this craving for danger, it's a powerful echo from our evolutionary past. It's a system that helped our ancestors navigate and survive a genuinely hostile world. But that leaves us with one final and, I think, crucial question. In a world that is objectively safer than it has ever been, why does that ancient part of our brain still feel the need to go searching for monsters in the dark?